County Sheriff Aaron Hansen, the people who have tried to exploit disaster areas are the lowest of the low.
Deputies are on patrol, and soon they'll get some help from the Nebraska National Guard. 6 News' Joe Harris shares the message Sheriff Hansen has for any trespassers.
You know, what you're seeing here in these piles of rubble is people's lives.
Damaged homes clearly show where Friday's tornadoes hit. And Douglas County Sheriff Aaron Hansen says they're a magnet for thieves.
Just kicking people when they're down, it's wrong. Not only these people with impacted homes, but most of these contractors we're seeing, they're small business owners.
Even before the storms, areas like this one near 204th and Kansas Avenue already had contractors working on development. Now, Hansen says, even more are here to work on storm recovery, increasing the number of potential targets for thieves to get tools and high-value equipment.
We're going to need to really be on our game to make sure that the criminal element does not come down here and victimize these people further.
He says anyone caught trespassing in a storm-impacted spot will not simply be cited. They'll be going to jail.
You're going to get booked. You're going to have to bond out.
Authorities have already caught a few people they say were trying to commit theft in the storm-impacted areas. Most recently, sheriff's deputies say they caught felony fugitive Jovan Jacinto around a Bennington area storage garage that burglars often target. Hansen feels his office has been fortunate that it's been able to stop crooks so far.
We've been sending the message out. I think the message has been received. That's why we have not seen a huge influx of thieves yet. But we know the potential is growing every day that goes along.
When 6 News last reported, Governor Jim Pillen was going to deploy 24 Nebraska National Guard troops to help the sheriff's office and state patrol watch the areas.
That number has been in flux. I know that they were looking at bringing some National Guardsmen in from as far away as Scottsbluff.
He says on Thursday afternoon, those troops were being briefed on the effort and that they'll be in action later Thursday night. On your side, Joe Harris, 6 News.
For the long term, Hansen says his team will work with property developers and other partnerships. They'll try to put more license plate reading technology in those areas and possibly hidden cameras. He also recommends that they put GPS tracking devices on their equipment.